know what?
As
Let's
long as
skip
the
this
audio
part.
is not choppy. That's what's important on a podcast.
Yeah, we'll see what happens when we're actually there.
Joel says video is hungover.
Yeah, it happens.
Ms.
I was out
Noid!
partying last night.
Rector! Silver! Fist! Fist! You need to make the brr 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 noise that I can't do.
You should
But
just
Don can do real good.
No, you need to make a song of our chat room.
What?
When you're announcing people, you're being very musical about it. So I'm like, it's like this is the chat room song.
They just make me happy.
Oh yeah, they make me happy.
And when I'm happy, I tend to make everything sound like a song.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Like Weird Al lives in my head.
Great.
Like everything turns into a song, but
Makes
it's
everybody
different
else
lyrics.
happy. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna start the show.
Hey Ben, start the freaking show, man.
Welcome to Azrael the Roundtable, episode 301. My name is Ben Bumhofer. It is the last show of the year. I'm actually correct this week, as opposed to last week, where I was confused. All that fun stuff. But anyways, it is Saturday morning. It is a day we don't normally record. We're going to have a weird sort of energy about us. And with me, as always, is John Jagger. How's it going, John?
Well, hey Ben, you promised a weird energy, and let me go ahead and bring it to the show. Here's my weird energy.
Okay, let's change this to, it might be a different type of energy.
Hey Ben, it's Saturday, and it's Saturday morning. It means I've still got... Nope, it's gone. I had the deep morning voice. It's gone. I've used it enough. It's left.
So what you're saying is you have the deep morning voice.
Used to be able to do this. Now
sound-
it's just sounding like I'm trying to sound like Batman.
I sound kind of like the G-Man
Alfred,
from
bring me
Half-Life.
soup.
Anyways, John, we are not alone at the round table today. With us this week is someone who I am very happy is able to join us, is Cara. Welcome back, Cara.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me back.
I think we should just
Yay,
call
we're
Cara
here.
our official, Saturday guest. Because we
Yeah.
can only have her if we ever have to move the recording to Saturday. So we usually, yeah.
Specific.
So that
And I'm
means
here
we
with
usually
coffee and energy, and
snag her.
that's why it's weird.
Yep.
Not
Yeah.
just because John sounds like ladies' man.
It's a lady.
Ooh, it's a lady. Anyways, hi, Cara. I'm so happy that you can join us. It is always great to have you on, and just talking with you over Twitter and text and stuff just does not, bring this friendship justice, if that makes sense.
Amen.
Nailing it.
There's only so many smiley faces and exclamation points I can use.
That's true. 240 to be exact, or 280, or whatever it is.
I don't know. They changed the amount, and now who knows how Twitter works anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
What even?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's all GIFs anyway.
That's the appropriate way to talk on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm so
Everybody
glad
knows
you
that.
said GIF and not GIF. Oh, my heart is so happy now.
Oh yeah. I
Well-
mean, what did you open for your Christmas gifts?
Choosy moms choose GIF, but I am not a choosy mom, so no thank you.
Very true. But anyways, it is another week. It has been another week in Azeroth, and one of the favorite times of year happened, and that would be Winter Veil.
Mm-hmm.
And before we went over to Nevermore's family's house, I logged in. I'm all like, yeah, gonna open up some Christmas presents out of the tree. I'm like, this is gonna be great. Sorry, I'm gonna open up some Winter Veil gifts under the tree, and this is gonna be great. So then I head over, and I look, and they're not ready yet because apparently they show up at 10 a.m.
11 o'clock our
Pacific,
time.
or
yeah.
it was 10 a.m. and it was 9 o'clock, and I'm like, yeah, I'm raring to go. This is gonna. Oh man,
Great
It was
Father
such a
Winter
bummer.
really letting the kids of Azeroth down. He's like, bring it at 11.
I can see the presents. Why can't I click and open? They're right there.
Oh, I forgot about that coding. Sorry, kids.
I actually have a strange, unintended Winter Veil WoW gift tradition.
Oh, really?
Which is
Share.
I go around and I grab all the presents. Just grab them all up. And then I open up my inventory and I start unwrapping them. And
Yeah.
open, 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 open. And for probably the third or fourth year in a row, I forget to open the actual Winter Veil present. I open everything else. I get the pet. I get all that. Because I've stopped looking to see what it is. There was a certain point where I was always really excited about it, and then it kind of hit a point where I was just like, eh. And so then I just don't look. I don't know what it's supposed to be. And so I think I got the Great Father Winter's Hearthstone. I got that, and I was like, okay, cool, that was it. And then I went about my life, and I think it was yesterday, I was on my character, and I was like, oh, I got a present in my inventory. And then I opened it, and I was like, I did it again! It's seriously the fourth year in a row that I've done this.
Oh, man. So, okay, I gotta ask. Which Winter Veil setting is better? Ironforge or Orgrimmar?
Ironforge, because it feels more holiday-y.
I would say if you're in the southern hemisphere, Orgrimmar is probably better because it's more like
True.
deserty and warm, which you're used to if you're having Christmas in December in the summer. But I go for Ironforge because it's got like the fires and the coziness and
And a line to see Santa.
Your Great Father Winter looks like Great Father Winter and not an orc in a costume.
Imagine if you went to an actual, literal IRL mall and you saw Great Father Winter as an orc.
Oh my gosh, that would be so great.
Oh, that'd be good.
That needs to be a thing for Blizzard for next year.
Oh
Are
my
you
gosh.
the real Santa?
Great Father Winter is my name, and you will address me as such. Now tell me what you want under the tree.
I want a pound puppy.
I do not give puppies. I give everyone the same gifts.
So why are you asking what we want?
Your mall contacted me and told me this is what I do.
There was a misunderstanding. I spell mall differently.
Yeah.
MAUL. Whoa.
I thought I was getting a new weapon. It was going to be legendary. Now I have to work here.
Yeah. That'd be pretty epic. I would love that, actually.
Somebody make that as a cinematic or something. I need it in
that'd
my
be so
life.
great. Or just, dress up as an orc and go sit in the chair. You can do that.
Musicita, or Musiquita, who I think I always say I'm unsure on the name of, says, who was able to convince an orc to dress as Great Father Winter? I like to think of it as community service. They were like a light Garrosh follower, and we didn't really want to kill him, we didn't really want to jail him. They were kind of pro-Garrosh, but not all the way.
You say light Garrosh, and my brain just goes to the Urel scenario.
Yeah. Oh,
That's pretty
yeah.
heavy Garrosh.
Yeah.
Oh, she went full Garrosh.
The not Garrosh, the other daughter? Son? No, it was a son. He was just infused with the light now. Spoilers,
Yeah.
maybe?
Yeah. That whole place is messed up.
Yes. Yes, it is. Although it is actually some of the most, engaging content that I've had this expansion so far.
It was
I really
interesting.
love that little thread. I want to spend more. I never thought I'd say this. I want to spend more
say
time.
it. You're gonna nope.
In Draenor!
No, you're gonna give him ideas. Honestly, that was the
no.
part I didn't like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I liked what they were doing with the story, sort of. I was sad about Urel.
Yeah.
I feel like she was sacrificed on the altar of
Hey, we need someone
shock
to
and awe, I guess.
I
But
have a little conspiracy theory going in my head if you want to trail off from Wintervale. a
no,
little bit.
let's trail off. What's the conspiracy theory?
All right. So, you know how there might have been some data mine stuff about Sylvanas and a certain weapon?
Uh-huh. probably
Having
does.
to
No
do with
idea.
Yeah.
the Void. We know that the Void's coming, right? This is
Oh, yeah.
not a Void
You
expansion.
know the
which means it's a Void
whispery
expansion.
Shadow Priest dagger, Ben?
Yeah,
talks to you?
I saw the picture at BlizzCon.
Sylvanas has it.
Yes.
I couldn't
Yes.
avoid it.
Oh,
Hey!
look at that.
This is Saturday morning humor. I love it.
Yep, we're really
So-
firing on
Sorry.
all
I'm
cylinders
sorry,
today.
So we have that little preview image from BlizzCon, and everyone's like, "What does it mean?" Nobody knows. Well, we also have, on the other hand, the Magcar orcs with Yrel, and kind of going buck wild with the light. And we know the light and the void are kind of opposites, maybe. What
Mhm.
if they're setting up Yrel to be like a mirror to Sylvanas, and she comes back sometime? Because I really just want her back.
Yeah, but now
That's in
she's
my brain
all.
how they're gonna do it.
But now she's all evil.
Yeah, but John, people say that about Sylvanas.
Yeah,
Is she
but they
evil,
just
or
haven't
is she-
really. They haven't really gotten to the core of Sylvanas.
Is
She's
she
an onion.
evil, or is she
Yeah.
like just way off the deep end with it?
Sylvanas is like parfait.
There's layers.
Parfait.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking like Sylvanas is a delicious dessert, but I some
well,
people probably think that too.
It's also.
I mean,
Um,
honestly, right now we're at the top nutty part.
Okay, that was
Phrasing.
That wasn't that bad. That was all right, Ben.
So anyway, that's my little theory. If it comes true, you heard it here first. If it doesn't, then I'm dumb. So
See,
hooray!
I took that scenario, the way it ended, very definitively and all of that, as their way of like basically saying, "All right, here's a bunch of orcs. You can make orcs from this place." And now we are wrapping up this universe. You're never coming back here. Nobody's ever coming back here. Nobody's doing anything from this. But it's a cautionary tale. Take from it orcs and knowledge. And I think
Meanwhile,
that's
someone
that's
on the
all we're
back's all,
getting.
I want transmog.
That's me. I like transmog. Maybe that's why I want them to come back. I don't know.
I know. Personally, I liked Yrel in that universe. It made sense, but I guess I don't know. Maybe this is Blizzard's way of kind of showing that, oh, hey, the light really isn't all that good, because
Mhm.
you know Illidan is kind of a sketchy, you know, downtrodden hero and stuff in the first place. So when he destroyed that, I forget what they're called, whatever.
The
It's
Naru.
yeah, when he killed the Naru and stuff, everyone's like, oh my god, or I am my scar. You know, there was a lot of kind of arguments over if he was right or not on that. This is just another way of Blizzard just kind of being all like, see, we're trying to show you the light isn't always benevolent. And
Right.
I mean,
But then we get the void elves, and we know that the void isn't always bad. It just depends on how you use it, how you
Right.
control the powers that you're given.
Mhm.
And that's
Exactly.
why I want Yrel and Sylvanas to just kind of butt heads and see where the meshing of the light and the void come in. I think that'd be really cool.
And see,
But I don't think Sylvanas is the Void, because the Void wants to destroy Sylvanas.
This is true.
Because there was that comic with which the Void saw Sylvanas and immediately was to her sister, kill her, destroy her, oh, she's the worst, get rid of her.
Run away!
yeah, and I mean, if to be fair, if Yrel is actually a bad guy of some sort, hey, it finally happened to an Alliance character.
Hey!
I just really like dynamic characters.
Oh,
Things
definitely.
That just take our expectations and just turn them around in like a rock tumbler, and then they come out all polished and pretty.
I think that's fine. I think I've just seen too much of Blizzard doing and then they had power, and it corrupted them.
No.
Get this. They were a hero, but they fell.
Hmm.
I mean, you know, when we're going back and we're looking at all these different characters and stuff, is Garrosh really kind of the only one that didn't fall into that trope? I mean, the thing that really changed him was Thrall
Us.
putting faith in him, and you know, telling
So
him.
what you're
"Oh, yeah,
saying
your-
is we
your-
should never
your
put
dad did
faith in
redeem
each
him."
other because it's going to turn out bad.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying is they took a different direction with him, and
Mhm.
I think that's one of the reasons why I love Garrosh as a character so much. I mean, he's a horrible orc, but the entire story with him and his rise to power and his fall and everything like that, it was something fresh, something new, and it took a lot of time to kind of grow and percolate into what it became.
I wish
That's true.
they had leaned a little bit more on us being responsible for Garrosh.
Mm-hmm.
I think they put a lot of that responsibility on Thrall from a narrative perspective, but I have always found it very interesting knowing where he ends up, looking at that quest chain where we're like, no, man, you're the son of Hellscream, don't be mopey, and he's just like, I'm gonna just sit here, I don't care. And we really just try to keep pushing him towards being this orc and having hashtag orc pride, and then he gets it, and you're like, whoa.
That's not what I meant, bruh.
Orc pride, but don't forget everybody else.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it comes down to.
So I think that was I think that would have been a cool area to explore, is you as the player are guilty. But I guess, it's kind of hard to lean into that, because what if you didn't do that quest line, So
Yeah.
there's always that element of like, you did this, you made him, and you're like, well, no, I didn't, because I didn't want to quest into Grand.
So what about the new quest on the Horde side with getting to choose your path?
Yeah.
Maybe that is where they're going with it a little bit.
Be interesting. I don't know where it's going to go.
With storytelling in the end, you get to
That stuff falls even without a cat. What is up with
snap.
I know. It's just like, all right, great. I have blinds falling at me. It's fantastic.
Dude.
It was
Alright.
being held on by a paperclip. It's fine.
This is fine.
All right. John's apartment is falling apart.
We live in a place where it gets very, very hot, and these, like, what are they made out of? Like plastic or whatever?
Yeah.
They get very brittle, and it broke, and I didn't call anybody to repair it. I just put a paper clip on it and hung it back up. So
That's how you gotta do sometimes.
yeah,
That's so great, John. I'm happy for
You should ask Great Father Winter for a new set of blinds.
here's
Oh my
what
gosh.
I'm most happy about. Not that it fell, but that something fell at me on the stream, and I kept my cool. I didn't scream or shriek or do anything permanently humiliating. I just kind of went, all right.
Bim said John is being attacked by the light. That's perfect.
Yeah, that was so
Sure.
great.
Perfect.
It's true.
Yeah. Anyways, so having the complexity and everything of Garrosh in the villains is something that I think, Blizzard did a fantastic job of, and giving us Illidan back and kind of giving him some depth, and like the episode we had forever ago, we're like, why did we attack him? It's one of those things where they're giving him so much more purpose and everything. So completely cutting off Yrel it's a bummer, because that's a pretty cool plot thread, but the idea of some version of this coming back to bite us in the butt or something, I think could potentially open up a lot of neat ideas going in the future.
Yeah. Well, we now have a cautionary tale as the Horde that, in theory, the Alliance don't know about. So maybe you start to see these light fanatics start popping up, and maybe that freaks out the Horde. It's like, no, we've seen this. We know how this goes. Like, finally, for once, the Alliance gets to be in the morally questionable area where they're like, no, we're all about the light.
Well, technically, we already are seeing this, because Lightforged Draenei are a thing.
Oh, that's
I
true.
still love Tapartos.
You're in bad company then,
No.
right?
He's so precious.
You're basically, what you're saying is, you're like, I still like Cheeseburger Cat. You like a meme. He's not even a person. He's just a meme.
Rude.
Here we call him Part No.
Aww.
We never
What if
called
the-
him that, but we do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if Tapartos is the new Great Father Winter, though? Would
Then
that
he's
be
on the
okay?
Alliance side. That's
no,
great.
because you can't get him to play a character. He would just sit there and yell his name.
What would you like from Tapartos? Aren't you Great Father Winter? Tapartos!
Yeah.
Great Father Tapartos.
No.
He'd murder the first kid who refused to call him Tapartos. Didn't he die? Did he not die? Did he live?
No. He lived, because when you unlocked that whole thing. You went through the process with him, and
I
you're just
remember
like,
that.
"Oh,
I just
He's your
assumed,
bro."
I just assumed he
no,
died.
no. He is
It's a
not
part
my
bro.
I think I'm thinking of the orc that's based on the rock in Hillsbrad, because he didn't make it.
Eh.
The one that's like
Oh,
stuck underneath the big boulder?
the one that flies around on
Or
the
is that a dude?
undead dragon, right?
Yeah.
What?
The guy who flies around
Oh.
and is like, "Do you smell what Loktar is cooking?" Which doesn't make a lot of sense. But
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Oh,
Oh,
have you
no.
played through Hillsbrad on a horde character at all?
It's been so long.
Okay, so it's the I forget exactly what the quest is called, but it's like Welcome to the Machine or something like
Yeah.
that, where you turn into a quest giver.
Oh, that is one of the best quest lines.
there's
Oh,
the
yeah.
high-level character that hangs out in low-level zones. That guy, that story takes a turn. It starts off very funny. You rescue him from water he could stand up in. But then you learn about this whole cult thing going, and you go and you do a whole bunch of fighting, and he dies at the end. He sacrifices himself for you. And then he has this big hero's death at the end. And he was like the original Tapartos. He's kind of a joke. He yells a lot. And then but he dies. Tapartos
Yeah.
sadly did not.
Yeah,
Partos
that orc,
lived
that
on.
orc was a hero.
Yeah.
Sapartos just kind of walks around and yells his name.
Yeah, it is the
It's really
introduction
too
to
bad.
Johnny Awesome.
It's really too bad that they can't make a trial Warcraft where people go in and only play that quest line. Because I think that quest line would suck in a bunch of people to want to play WoW.
The Tapartos quest line?
No! My word.
We want them to want to play the game.
That's why I was confused. I'm just okay. No, I think you're right. That Hillsbrad, like the whole series, a big chunk of it is having a little bit of knowledge of how WoW works and everything, but seeing the storytelling especially with that character alone, is pretty darn good. Pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And that sort of experience and stuff is actually carried over a lot into a lot of the leveling experiences that we've had. Like, as much as we all, well, not all of us, because I know there are some people who absolutely love warlords, especially the ones who came in at the very tail end of it. It's funny. It's always, I love warlords. Of course, I didn't play it till the last 6 months. I'm like, that's why. Anyways,
That was when it was all right.
yeah. The questing and stuff is great. The storytelling as you're leveling has turned into something that is really engaging and just totally just like grabs on and stuff. In fact, that's something on the Horde side that I just truly love and enjoy going through the new zones. Like, finish Zoldazar, then finish Nazmir, and then something pops up in Zoldazar that ties into Nazmir. It's great, and you have this big overarching thing that goes along with everything else, and it's just absolutely fantastic. After the new year, I am actually going to get some time, and I'm going to level my Alliance alt, and I am super excited to actually finally jump in and see all that stuff too. And that's still one of the best things about Legion, I think, is the fact that there are two separate giant stories that everybody gets to play.
And I feel like Welcome to the Machine was the first time I felt like Warcraft was self-referencing,
Yeah.
where it kind of understood what it was and kind of played that out. And I feel like that has kind of come through in the rest of WoW now. We
Yeah.
see it a lot more in the quests. Like if you get the achievements pop up or world quests pop up in Drustvar, you run into spiders and it's just like, no, on your screen. Like they made it fun, but we still have these serious storylines.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the way it's dynamic is why I stick with Warcraft and playing WoW instead of going to some other game. Besides the people, of course. When you think about the game itself, it's so dynamic and there's so much story.
I think it's a hard line to walk because I've seen it done well in Welcome to the Machine. Like that was fun. I like the idea you go through this campaign in Silverpine, and it's this big epic story that's not very self-referential or funny. And I like that there's
Witchalocks.
There are Witchalocks, which is kind of fun. But anyway, you get to the you get over to Hillsbrad, and they're like, wow, you did really good. I guess we're going to make you a quest giver because you're being promoted. Like, the idea that, like, you've been promoted into you're going to tell other people what to do, and then it doesn't go well, and they're like, nah, it turns out you're going to have to just still be the person doing stuff. Like, I really like that idea. It's really funny. But then there is what a lot of people know is one of my least favorite quests chains in the game, which is from Legion, which is when you stumble upon the little Tauren house, and they get
where they're
clearly
evacuating.
murdered by goblins, and then you proceed to help the goblins, despite the fact that they clearly murdered this innocent family. And when I talked to the devs about that, they're like, yeah, but wasn't it funny? And I was like, no, it wasn't. It was frustrating. It was frustrating because...
it was funny. Ooh.
Yeah, I was like, no, it really wasn't particularly a funny quest, because on one hand, like you murdered this little innocent family and are like helping goblins get away with murder and then robbing them. And then on the other hand, like, you're making my character feel incredibly dumb when, like, they clearly murdered them, and you're like, I guess I'll help you guys. Yeah, you're right. We should steal a bunch of stuff. And they were like, and then you get the gullible title, and it's like, okay, great.
But I wasn't.
Like, not a single thing about that quest lands in humor for me. I hate that quest from top to bottom. And to hear, like, the reaction that it was meant to be kind of a tongue-in-cheek funny quest was kind of disappointing, because it's like, boy, you really missed the mark on that particular one. And I don't know. I don't think I was speaking to the developers who wrote that thing, but who I was talking to thought it was funny. And it's like, that wasn't funny. That was kind of a tragic story, and you made my character an idiot on top of it. So nobody wins in this scenario.
Yeah, like the best, in my opinion, it is also in Legion, one of the best kind of tongue-in-cheek nods to, previous stuff or their own things was when you escorted Moosey's grandma.
It's the best.
People, first of all, I know there's a ton of people who absolutely hate that quest. I love it. I think it's just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And just the idea that it's like, oh, you're doing this is like, oh my god, an escort quest? I haven't done one of these in forever. Oh, this is going to suck. And she's going super slow. If you get more than like 10 feet away, she's like, where'd you go? And then finally, when you're on the bridge and then the giant, the bird lands, and you're like, oh, now I got to fight the stupid bird. And she just smacks it and it flies away. And, like, that to me was just funny, because it took your expectations, like, kind of played with them for a little bit, and then totally threw them out the window. But, I mean, all the while, she's like just this endearing old grandma Tauren lady, and I'm just like, okay.
So what if? Sorry. What if both of those quest lines had dialogue choices where you could pick to either go with it or kind of argue with them, and it didn't really change the outcome of the quest, but it changed how you felt about doing the quest? And I'm gonna reference another game I really like, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. It's so freaking cute. But they have, when you turn in something to an animal, sometimes there's two different dialogue options, and you can be like really nice and be like, here, I found your book. And they're like, yay. Or you can be like, don't freaking lose it again. And they're like, yay. And it's just, it's the way you feel about the quest, not so much the actual game mechanics. Maybe Warcraft would benefit from just a little bit of dialogue choice like that.
I have always felt that it would, and they've put it in a couple places. There's a quest early on where, early on, it's weird to say now because you can kind of do it whenever, but I think it's the Northern Barrens. I always mix up my Barrens.
Well, one's in the north and one's in the south.
Yeah, and it's the Northern Barrens.
Okay.
In my head, at least. Where you have to
lower level or medium level.
It's all the same now, Ben. They've ruined that. You can't even say that. Back in the day, it would have been the lower level Baron Zone.
Okay, there we go. So Northern Barons.
Yes. So you have to interrogate a Quillboar, and you can go in and you can punch him and beat him up, or there's like a couple of different ways you can torture him, or you can tickle him. And I think like you can pay him a compliment too. Like I might be wrong on that. There's a few choices on how you do it, and I think it might impact like a buff you get for the quest. But there's a couple different ways you can get information from this quill boar, and it seems like a response to the torture quest from Lich King, which people were pretty, like, oh, you turned me into Jack Bauer, because there was the quest where you had to electrocute a guy until he talked and stuff like that, and people were like, I don't know how I feel about all this. So I think giving people more options, even if it's just flavor and it doesn't do much, is always good. That said, I do like the idea of having consequences to it too. Like you refuse to escort the old woman Torin because you're like, I'm not walking with a slow, and then next thing you know, she gets grabbed by the bird, and then maybe 2 quests later, you just see a Torin fall from the sky and hit the ground.
Or anytime you go and visit Moosey's family, they're just like, "Where's Grandma?"
Yeah, they're just like, we haven't seen her.
And then now the question is, would you get quest completion?
Maybe.
You're right, though. There is a quest similar, not to the Moosey thing, but that gives you options in the Alliance zones where you have to talk to a guard and you either tell them to get out of the way and move on, you pay them gold, or you just start hitting them. And that's in BFA. So more stuff like that. I like that. That's good stuff.
Whenever we do have quests where it's like, hey, get my winnings or be my muscle to go get money back or I'm owed a debt or whatever. I love how there are those different aspects of, okay, well, you can pay it yourself, or you can beat them up, or you can do a favor for them to get it or something like that. And, I kind of enjoy that stuff.
Yeah.
I do, but I always short path that. I always am like, nope, rough them up.
Nice.
Get them. They shouldn't have gotten in debt with these bad folks.
But then that makes sense for your character too, the way you like to play.
Right. My character.
Whereas for me, I'm like super nice, and I'm like, please move out of the way, and they're like, no, and I'm like, fine. I have to hit you in the face with the frostbolt.
I always like when games punish good behavior as well. Because I like the idea that if you're going to go forward and you're going to be told, go collect debts from all these people, and they tell you their sob story, and you're like, it's okay, I'll pay it. I'm going to hit my microphone. That's how adamant I am.
Oh, man.
That's okay, I'll pay it. I'll do that. I like that there's some punishment to you. Like, I think it would be funny if the quest reward was, like, just under the amount you spent to do the thing for them. So you're like, I recouped a little bit of what I got, but not all of it.
The best part is when they don't tell you what the amount is before you say you'll pay it.
Oh, that would be pretty good too. Next thing you know, you're in debt.
Yeah, you're like out 1,000 gold or something like that you don't have on you.
Yeah.
And then you get thrown in the jail in Borealis and have to break out with Flynn.
Wow.
Cool.
Anyway.
Very specific scenario that just came to mind.
Oh,
is
can you
this
imagine?
an actual
Talk to Hordes.
Is this an actual quest line, or is this just your dream?
No, this is what happens. You get thrown in there, and then you watch other new people to BFA get broken out while you're stuck in there.
That prison doesn't seem very secure. I have been in and out of that prison like nobody's business.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, prisons in Warcraft, not usually very effective.
Nope.
Not really.
Nope. I did
Look into that.
I did early Alliance quests where I got out of there. I did a raid, or well, I guess it was a dungeon where I went in and out of there
Multiple times.
A recent quest line where I went in there again and got somebody out. Like, they might as well just put a revolving door on that prison.
Well, and that's not the only prison too, because the Horde start out going into the stockades.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, prisons just...
Of course, then again, I have to say that if Zool wasn't with you, you'd totally be dead.
Yeah. And now you're killing him.
Already
ho,
did.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yay!
And now I have a dead Zool.
Yeah.
So, did you guys see the thing about the hunter raid with Zool?
I did, and I think that is just like it's fun in theory, but there's no way that that's actually going to ever happen in current content because you have to get to the first two bosses first, which do require tanks and healers and everything like that before, well, what am I saying, first two? No, the first, like, every boss.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty far in.
yeah.
So what
John,
happened?
have you heard about
There's
this?
a blood beast tome
Yeah.
or something that lets hunters tame these new BFA creatures.
Oh, yeah.
And the secret finding community was trying to figure out how to get it. And it turned out that it dropped because someone hearthed out during the Zool fight, and it was totally buggy. It wasn't supposed to work that way.
Yeah.
And so they hot fixed it so that it's just a drop now from killing Zool, which is great. But then on Twitter, one of the devs came out and said that it was supposed to be obtainable in a raid of full hunters. So, like, all hunters on Zool. And I'm just trying to think how.
Like, how did they get to that point?
Well, how did they even think of, like, oh, let's have all the hunters go in and kill this boss that is just all ads, basically?
Yeah.
Well, and it makes sense for Zool. I mean, other than, like, you kind of need Priest to dispel something, otherwise he gets health back, and you need to be able to, pull something away. But, I mean, pets can kind of tank stuff. I mean, the healing's not going to be that great.
Yeah,
I
in
don't
theory,
think
you
there's
have
a
a lot of
mass
pets.
dispel. I mean, like I said, the idea behind it is really cool, and I like it. And I'd love to see a group of 20 hunters just in there with pets everywhere, going all over the place and stuff. I think that'd be really cool.
I mean, even on
But-
Flex, you could get up to 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with
And
that
pets,
would be
that's a
kind of cool to see.
60-person raid, 60-thing raid.
Just the only thing you need to worry about is healing. And while spirit beasts do kind of heal, and you can heal your own pets, trust me, other people take damage in that. As a healer, I can guarantee you that other people take damage. So, I mean,
I still kind of want to see someone try it.
Yeah,
I think it would
Yeah.
be fun to see.
they
but
should.
and I'm sure there are people who already have.
I've actually been playing a lot of my hunter. Speaking of hunters,
Are you still doing melee?
yeah.
Ooh.
Although it was funny because the other day, like I was way into survival because it lets me get up in there and be melee like how I'm comfortable being. And then
so
the
you're
other
a
day,
rogue hunter.
yeah, I sent my pet and I was hanging back and I was just giving the pet commands and I was like, oh no, I've turned into a normal hunter. What am I doing? I gotta get in there. I can't do this, but I was just hanging back. But it's funny because playing the hunter, I've actually been having a lot of fun. But it also illustrates an area that's a lot of frustration for me because it makes me wish that WoW was not so much about min-maxing. Because when I play a hunter and I'm out running around the world, I start paying more attention to what the beasts I'm fighting do as attacks and things like that. And especially with the way they've changed the world and all of that, the monsters you fight do more than just, hit you.
Yeah.
And it made me think that, like, oh man, it'd be so cool if taming this beast gave me that ability. And you actually went out and tried to get pets not just for how they looked or what type they were, but for what they could bring to a fight and ability-wise, and you could customize that. And then I realized, oh, the reason they don't do that is because then people just grab whatever is technically the raid-appropriate, most powerful, and run with it. So as a result, we get kind of this bland, vanilla, all hunter pets are, roughly the same, at
That's
least
what
across the
used to
families.
happen.
Yeah, and it used to be they've tried a million different things with trying to balance hunter pets over time. And it just doesn't work because of the min-maxing thing. And, it's sort of, especially with how much D&D I've been playing lately, there are ways to min-max D&D characters as well. There are spells that are better than others. There's a lot you can do, but that's a game about sometimes deliberately not going with the optimal thing, saying, you know what, no, this is what my character would have, this is what my character would do. Doesn't matter that that's not the best choice. Like, that's the choice for my character. And I find it so funny that in that game, that's such a normal thing. And then you get to a video game like WoW, and it becomes the exact opposite, which is no. It doesn't matter if you're on normal difficulty, which is supposed to be easy, and you shouldn't have to min-max. It's like, no, we need everybody min-maxing. Please play with the optimal, find out what gems you should have, find out what buffs you should have. You need these optimal things. That's where you need to be. And it's so funny that it is completely turned on its head that way. And in some ways, I feel like we suffer a little bit for it, because I feel like there's a lot more potential creativity if we didn't have to go through and min-max in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But do we have to min-max?
We don't.
It depends.
But people think they do.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the reasons why lockouts are the same way, because a lot of the high-end min-maxers would run every single type of raid to try to get loot to min-max and everything like that.
True.
Which is kind of sad.
Yeah. The way I run my raid, which, hi, Rubber Chicken Coalition. I see a bunch of you in the chat. I love you guys.
Are you currently recruiting?
No. Oh, my God. We are so overfull. It's ridiculous. Ugh. I have a hard time saying no. Anywho, the way I like to run my raid is, as long as you are coming to raid and you're not overly screwing up, you're good. Like, you don't have to be the best of the best, because we're just a normal team. And that's what FERT is, right?
Oh, totally.
Yeah, so...
We are, like, we just killed Gahoon on normal, like, a week ago, so... Yeah.
And see, as long as you're having fun, and you're having fun together, I think that makes a better experience in raiding than trying to be the best of the best and push certain numbers and do things quickly and just... And I understand some people get joy out of that, but I've found over the years in my raiding experience, going from one extreme of hardcore raiding to now super casual raiding, that the casual side's actually a lot more fulfilling.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm right there with you, because back when, John and I were raiding on a different team where min-maxing was definitely encouraged.
Right.
We'd go in there and, one, we would be cocky because, the two of us would be the highest DPS because we were just awesome.
Yeah, because, well, some of this stuff, back in the Burning Crusade days, there weren't websites that told you unless you found them. And you, and that was the thing, is at the time, back in the day, there was no, go to Ask Mr. Robot. There was, for rogues, a site called Shadow Panther. But
no one knew about it unless another rogue told them.
Yeah, it really was
that is so roguish.
It was a super rogue thing. It was like...
I love it.
Someone was like, have you checked how that lands on Shadow Panther? And you were like, what the hell is Shadow Panther? And they're like, it's a website. I'll send you the link. Go check out Shadow Panther. And you would go there, and it would be a bunch of tables. None of it was intuitive. It was very messy. But it would tell you what your best in slots were. It would tell you what you should be speccing towards and all of that. It was very, very basic, and it was all rogue focused. And you'd go there and you'd do the thing, and you could be a suboptimal, player of the game, but because you were operating with the high-end knowledge that we now all take for granted, that we get very easily, you were astronomically better than most other players. A bad person who had optimized on Shadow Panther, or bad rogue, I guess, was 1,000 times better than a decent player who was unoptimized, and that was just the way it was. So,
wow.
If you found these weird little nooks and crannies on the internet that would help you play your class, or dove into it really deep, all of a sudden you were outperforming everybody, and nobody really exactly knew why.
Meanwhile, I always tried to compete with John and tried to be better than John because,
we
John.
dueled all the time.
Yeah, and so the fun thing for me was I always had so many different things statted out to see what was actually a better combination for, should I use the staff versus this main hand and offhand and everything like that. And I read a lot of like how spells worked on my mage. I know that's like stupid and it's like duh, read them, but I started kind of playing around with different combos, seeing how fast things would die. I mean, back then I knew that crit was definitely a big thing, and I would gear as best I could to what I thought was the best way to do it. And then finally, when things like WoW, yeah, well, I guess Wowhead, I don't know, like Icy Veins and stuff like that, actually became more of a forefront. I found out that I was actually doing the right rotations that they were suggesting and stuff like that. So I'm like, yay! But
Because you figured
I mean,
it out yourself
yeah,
by
back
reading.
back then I had a lot more time and was able to figure that
True.
stuff out.
True,
And
true.
it's funny that now that I heal, I don't do anything like I'm supposed to. Like, I'm sure that there are ways that I could do, like have a better throughput for certain things and stuff like that. But it's like healing is so less of a, what's your rotation and more of a reaction or at least a prediction of what's going to happen. And so anytime that Tet puts up like the stats and everything, I'm like, okay, let's see where I am versus, the other healers, just to kind of get an idea and see if I need to up my game on certain fights and stuff like that. And then I always look to see how I was parsed compared to other monks with my item level and stuff like that. And it ranges wildly from like, oh, you're like maybe at the bottom 2% to like, oh, you're at the 90 percentile, depending on the fight and what our comp was that time and stuff like that. And it's one of those fun things. I'm just kind of like, okay, well, let's see. I need to toss this over here. Healy stream over there. Oh crap! Hit, like throw stuff out super fast. And it's such a different style of gameplay that I don't think I could ever really be a top healer, just because I play by feel on. Whereas like when I was a mage, it was just so exact on what I need to do.
If you're a healer too, it also has to do with the damage that your group is taking. So if your group kind of sucks, you're doing more heals.
I know, that's why I'm a good healer.
Wow, did you just insult your group?
No, I didn't insult my group. It's just that, look,
that's not what I heard.
We're not the best at at getting out of the blood. That's all I'm gonna say.
Look, yes, there's a reason that the group is friends and family and casual, and it takes time. But I think that also goes back to that feeling of I have to be optimized. Is maybe you don't feel like you have to be, but then you're in a friends and family group and you're not making any progress, and you're like, well,
time to be optimized.
I have the knowledge and the ability to do better. So I guess it's on me, because even though in a perfect world you would hope that everybody would raise the water level a little bit together and we'd all move up, instead it becomes, well, I'm the person who knows the sites and knows the optimal rotation and knows this and knows that. I guess I will go and do that. And
see, we're lucky that we do have a few people on our team who are definitely, I'm going to min-max the hell out of this. And then we have a lot of other people who, well,
You're
first
just
of all,
happy if they show up.
well, yeah, but first of all, no one on the team is lacking in effort. I just want to make that very clear. But some people have more time to put in more world quests and try to get better gear, and
Some people
they're
take more
running
joy in
dungeons and
doing that
stuff, and-
too.
yeah, exactly. And it's not a knock on anybody. That's one of the reasons why I'm on the team I'm on, because yeah, I don't have the time to farm every single best in slot world drop piece of gear and stuff like that. But when you do have just those couple few who are able to just completely go in and min max, and they do raise that bar for everybody, it's noticed, and it's helpful, and it's great. Like, one of the reasons we beat Gahoon is because Ro came in and brought everybody Vantis runes.
Aww.
It's that extra little bit of push that really helped out. I know that Ro's working on his character constantly, trying to make sure that he's the best he can be. Hunts the Wind, also another example of someone who's just constantly doing everything
yeah, I was gonna
he can.
say, you guys have a Hunts the Wind.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, that's a really good analogy. You have to sometimes have a Hulk so that you can also have a Hawkeye.
But we have no Hawkeyes on our team.
Sure you don't.
And the best thing is when the Hulk decides to help teach Hawkeye what he knows. So then everybody can get better together.
Look,
As long as
sometimes-
it's not the other way around. And now I'm picturing Hulk like with like two fingers holding a bow and arrow, just kind of pulling back and. Sorry.
I do feel like flex rating has made that a distinction too, where we don't have to optimize because we don't have to fit 10 people doing their absolute best in a raid to get a mob down. We can adjust it with whoever shows up and just make do with what we have in the flex team from week to week. People don't have to be the best of the best anymore because their spot is elastic in a sense.
Plus,
You're not one of 10.
I will say that I also like this system because no matter what, you're a superhero and you're on the Avengers. So
Hell yeah.
I think I like the idea that you can just ask yourself, okay, what level of Avenger am I? You know, am I a Hulk? Am I a Thor? You know, maybe on the other end of the spectrum, am I a Black Widow or a Hawkeye? You know, there's
They contribute
spectrum.
a lot.
Yeah,
But-
just don't be a Mark Ruffalo.
So
Well, no,
there's
Mark
a,
Ruffalo's great.
He's
Don't be
great.
disappointed.
He's great.
With
You're
your
happy
team.
he's there. You were happy to have Mark Ruffalo along. But unless he's going to Hulk out, you're going to be spending... Honestly, the effort
That's
you're going
on
to take
people.
protecting him isn't worth it. You'd rather he maybe just stayed home. Or just got in Discord and talked to you.
he's the one that gets to tank the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what?
Um,
Everybody takes their turns as Mark Ruffalo.
So with that analogy brought up, Ben, what Avenger do you think you operate at, level-wise?
Oh, jeez.
This is a good thought experiment to do with your raid team too.
Yeah.
Have everyone say what Avenger they think
Yeah,
they are.
until people start laughing at what people say.
When someone's like, I think I'm a Thor, and then everybody starts cracking up laughing, and then like, you're not a Thor, you're a Hawkeye.
Let's see. I think I am War Machine.
Here's the problem, I'm not exactly sure where that falls on the spectrum.
Well, I can tell you where it falls on the
Actually, you
spectrum.
know what, Ben? That's a perfect analogy, because I was trying to come up with mine, and I was like, I'm a Bucky. I'm like, maybe if I put in more time and effort, maybe I could get up to a Captain America, but for now, I'm the watered down version. I'm a Bucky.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I could be Iron Man, but you know what? I have just enough like other random tricks of the trade that just they work in certain situations. But I am no druid healer, so yeah, I'm War Machine.
Cara, do you know which Avenger you would be?
Oh my gosh. I got nothing. Cause I identify with little bits of each of them, but when it comes to playing WoW, that's like a whole different mindset. I'm asking my team in chat, tell me what Avenger I am. Winchester said I'm Black Widow. I don't feel smart enough to be Black Widow. She knows everything about everyone all the time. Anyhow,
Okay, so Eludra said that I'm Rocket Raccoon, which
I can see that.
I can kind of see that because of the whole I've got random tricks for other stuff, and I kind of
Also,
try
your
to
face
just
is
build.
furry.
Also,
Yeah, it
not
is.
an Avenger, but it's fine.
Well, he's in Avengers.
He's in an
He's-
Avengers film.
He's in the right universe. At least you're not Casey saying that he's Aquaman in here. Come on, Casey.
Oh.
I love you, Casey.
The less said about Aquaman, the better.
Pet rodents.
Bim is Groot. I love it.
Yeah, I can see Bim as Groot. Actually, any druid healer should be Groot.
I'm gonna say that I'm, and actually this technically counts because he gets knighted as an Avenger. I'm gonna say I'm a Spider-Man. I can do some amazing things, but nobody really expects much out of me. And you're really not sure if I'm gonna show up because technically, I'm owned by another studio, and so honestly, it's just a surprise when I'm there.
It's perfect.
And
love it.
whenever I die, I apologize to Mr. Stark.
You do not apologize. You die and you're like, well, it's on Twitter today.
Yeah, it's true. I'm like, boy, I hope they win this fight because I don't want to do this again.
Well, to be fair, I want to be Spider-Man just because I like Spider-Man.
Yes, and also that. True, the true reason.
No, I think Bucky works.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I don't know which Avenger is more prone to be told don't open extra boxes and then proceeds to open extra boxes.
Well, you said he's not an Avenger, or at least the Guardians aren't an Avenger, but I could see you as Peter Quill, but you don't really lead anything.
I lead in my
Like,
mind.
Like you're him before he was a Guardian.
Yeah, it's true.
The singing and dancing part of Peter Quill, perhaps?
Oh, no, that's not John at all.
No, definitely not that. I probably am actually more of a Rocket. If we're gonna count everybody, it's probably Rocket.
Yeah.
Okay, so Euro just reminded me that Squirrel Girl exists, even though
Oh,
she's
Squirrel
not in
Girl's
the
great.
movies. She's like the absolute best. So I'm gonna go with Squirrel Girl.
Okay. I'm good with that. Who is Deadpool? Let's see. Who swears the most on Ferds? Probably me, but not with the mic on. Oh, man. It was the worst thing. So, okay. Just a little behind the scenes thing. Before I call John, every single time we do the show, I have to turn push to talk off in Discord because I raid all the time. So sometimes I forget to turn it back on.
Oh no!
Randomly, we're just like sitting here like getting ready to raid, and I'm just turning and I'm talking to Nevermore, and all of a sudden I hear this, Ben, your mic's not on push to talk. I'm like, immediately I'm like, oh shoot, what did I say?
Right?
But
Did I
didn't
say anything
bad.
awful? It was funny because I guess that's where that came from because I joined you guys. I mean, it was a long time now, but it was during this expansion, and I got in. And I think, like, I made some noise in the background and my mic picked it up and someone's all,
Yep.
John, your push to talk isn't on. And I was like, you're right, and it's not gonna be.
Well, I think it's because you're like making eating noises or something like that, and it was
Nom,
very,
nom,
very
nom, nom.
disturbing. You're like,
Oh, yeah, how I eat all food.
that's how you eat.
Yeah,
Everybody knows that. You eat like Zoidberg does.
yeah, yeah. Exactly, spot on.
Anyways, I like the idea that raid teams are the Avengers.
Yeah, figure out what your role is in the Avengers. And if you're a Hawkeye, maybe try to be a little more of a Ronin.
Ronan's a bad guy.
Yeah, but he's cooler.
Oh no, my mind
His
meant
transmog's
Ronan.
on point.
Oh, you
Guardians of
were
the
thinking
Galaxy Ronin, yeah.
Ronin the Accuser? No, Ronin
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
the
Ronin the
Hawkeye alter ego where he's a ninja.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty cool.
He
Hawkeye.
gains weapons other than a bow and arrow.
Surprisingly though, he just throws them.
Yeah.
That'd be funny though. But I would like to dedicate this episode to my team's Captain America, which would be Tetsemi.
Yay!
Oh yeah, Tetsemi's definitely Captain America.
Oh, by far.
Yeah.
By far. But anyways, Cara, thank you very much for joining us this week. It has been an absolute treat. And who'd have thought we'd end up on the Avengers?
It was bound to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Thanks for having me back. It's always so much fun.
Oh, well, I'm glad you enjoy it.
And thank you for having me on episode 301. Congrats on 300 episodes.
Oh,
Holy
thank you.
moly.
Thank you.
You guys.
This actually was
amazing.
my 300th episode. So,
Bonus.
You've got like one or two to go. I don't know anymore.
yeah, you've got a few more, yeah. You're
Yeah.
close.
So this
Something
is
like
the
that.
start of the next 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Hooray!
Yay. So until next time we record on a Saturday morning, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Xandara, Xandara.
All right. John, what about you? Where can people find you?
Hey, if you want to hear more from me, follow me on Twitter at John_Jagger. You can catch me talking about Heroes of the Storm on Core. which is the Heroes of the Storm show I do, part of the Frog Pants Network. You can catch me playing Dungeons and Dragons later today, or on any given Saturday, on There Will Be Dungeons, which is also a part of the Frog Pants Network. You can find out more about that at therewillbedungeons.com. I'm very excited to be playing D&D later. That's it for me. Ben, where can people find you?
Best place to find me is on Twitter. I am at Ben the Mage. I also do a show with Eludra called Battle Pets, where we talk about battle pets in the World of Warcraft. Because of my busy, super duper horrible work schedule, we haven't recorded the last week or two. But after the first, we are jumping right back into a regularly scheduled program. So look forward to that. I am excited for it because, you know what? I gotta say, as much as I love doing art, sometimes you gotta geek out about battle pets.
Heck yes.
Yeah, and I contractually won't let him on this show.
Pretty much.
Y'all,
Ben's like, I gotta talk
I'm
about
gonna
a
break
battle
the contract real quick. I just want to say thanks to Blizzard for making Super Squirt Day on Christmas. That was the best present ever.
It was a good-
Great Father Winter has nothing on Super Squirt Day for Christmas.
Excuse me, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's the orc. I know what you're talking about. John, Super Squirt Day is when the Battle Pets extra XP bonus is going on.
I don't
And you go
care.
back to your garrison, and then you level pets because you with Squirt you can get tons.
I can go
of XP.
back
takes
to
2
my
battle pets
garrison?
to level.
Holy
Yes.
shit! I've
took away
always
your
wanted to
garrison
go
for
back to my
Winter Veil?
garrison. If
Oh, yeah,
there's
I got-
one place in the world of Warcraft I haven't spent enough time, it's the garrison.
Good. I'm glad you're excited then.
I don't ever accidentally hearth there and get triggered.
This show, Azeroth Roundtable, if you like it, you can follow us on Twitter. We are at AzerothRT. We record usually every Friday night, currently at 7 p.m. Pacific, on twitch.tv/AzerothRT. If you have a Prime subscription, just kind of hanging around if you want, feel free to go ahead and toss it our way. You know, fun stuff. If you want to join the artists, as I officially dubbed them last night, you can also join our Discord, which you can find a link to that on AzerothRoundtable.com, as
See
well
what
as
you
all
did
of our
there.
episodes. Yeah, pretty good, right?
That was, that was the thing.
Yeah, it's a thing now.
Yeah.
But AzerothRoundtable.com, where you can find a link to that, as well as every single episode that we have ever done. So head on over there. Also, last but not least, if you have any questions, comments, want to tell us who you actually think our Avenger persona is for our raid teams, you can email those to AzerothRoundtable@gmail.com.
Azeroth Round Table.
Yes, round table.
Round Table.
Yes.
I don't know why you keep doing that. It's really confusing, but I like it.
It's like Benth Mage. Or
Benth Mage.
I'm the Benth Mage.
words are just so fun.
Round
Yeah.
table.
Round Table.
Road.
Is it because we don't emphasize the D enough? Round table. Round table.
Emphasize the D.
Oh, jeez. John, take us away.
Hey everybody, we've had some fun here today. Whether it's talking about battle pets or Avengers or emphasizing the D, we've had a good time. If you want to emphasize the D, you can go to patreon.com/AzerothRT and give us money, because that's how you do it. We want to thank everybody who is a patron, and we always give a special shout out to the Murloc Club, Aaron Somdi, Haster, Jesse O, Jim G, Caleb M, and Sash. Thank you so much for being part of the Murloc Club. Ben, emphasize that D! Emphasized. Yep. Nailed it.
With that, Cara, thanks again for joining us. It's always a pleasure. Chat room, you were awesome. Thank you for being here. And going into the next year, everybody, be good to each other. Bye now. And that's a podcast.
We did it!
Oh my god. John.
What?
You guys broke me.
What?
That's all. No, I just said your name. That's all.
I didn't do anything.
I know, John.
Look, the
Just
first
say
time I
that.
asked about emphasizing the D was an innocent question. I was just trying to figure out why she kept saying round table.
Round table.
And then I tried saying it once without the D, and it seemed to be what was the thing. And I just wanted clarification on
Bonus level says, great episode of Lagging Balls today, folks.
Good call. You know what? Lagging balls, they don't have a D. Where we emphasize the D.
Oh no! I think they got lots of D's.
it. They have a
If
surplus
this is
of
still here,
Ds.
let me know how many D's there are.
Is this episode being titled "Emphasize the D"?
Please no.
I haven't titled it yet.
Can it be
There was a
called
really-
"Emphasize the D"?
If you really want it, John, I can
I
put it
do.
emphasize the D. Okay.
Oh my god, you guys.
Emphasize the D.
Someone had a really good title at the very beginning, but chat's not letting me scroll up, so I should have written it down.
Round
Dang.
table.
Table.
Round table.
The D is not silent. Oh, I kind of a bag of D's. We're not doing a bag of D's, Bim.
Just a bunch of D's.
Ah.
I kind of like the D is not silence. Or should I do? You have to emphasize the D.
That's long.
I just like "Emphasize the D."
Yeah.
Okay.
Short and sweet.
Or we risk being sued and we just call it Sunny D.
Sunny. Oh, because it's like Saturday morning?
No, because Sunny Delight. They always used to call it Sunny D.
But what?
Well, they wouldn't sue us. It's brand recognition.
They're
You want
like,
to be
"Yay,
associated with us.
somebody talked about us again. Sunny D, it's our time."
How
The
about
last time I had Sunny D, it was really weird tasting.
Yeah,
Like I
it's
was
not good.
The orange juice that drinking Sunny D tasted like, I don't know, orange juice mixed with pine sol or something.
There's a reason more
not good.
people remember the purple stuff than the Sunny D.
When we did the dog boss in Legion, we called them Sunny D and purple stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did too.
Hey,
Perfect. It's perfect.
How about Saturday morning D?
no.
I know. I'm kidding. Because it's a Saturday morning.
Uh-huh. Where does the D come from?
You know.
In chat,
Don't
someone
answer
said
that.
Saturday morning Cara tunes, and I thought that was cute.
Aw, that is cute. Purple drank.
Purple string.
Oh man, that was a good episode.
Chat, you guys are awesome.
Yeah.
I really appreciate everybody in the chat. Like it's amazing that people that whether we've met in person or not take their time to show up and just hang out and have a conversation. And it's just sometimes we forget how miraculous that is.
Well, they're
just-
pretty great. I mean, I gotta say,
Yeah.
the artists are the best fans out there.
Amen.
You were just going to keep saying that till that sticks, aren't you?
I am.
I like it.
I like it too. It's
pretty good.
Especially because a lot of the people who listen to your show are super creative.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
But anyways, I gotta go, guys. I'm sorry to cut this a little
Yeah,
short.
Ben's got to go work.
But everybody, thank you very much. You all are awesome.
Ben's going to go be a miser, everybody. I don't know why him working makes him a miser, but there you go.
I don't know why either.
Gotta make that money to save that money.
Yeah.
I guess.
You can't take it with you, Ben. You can't take it with you.